Hey everybody, welcome back to Divulgence, and welcome back to Ryan Dawson. What's going on, Ryan? Thanks for coming back. So good to see you again.
I'm going to stream this to mine too. Yeah, the biggest news is obviously the Epstein files, which went exactly as I said yesterday, and as I've been saying all year. It's a bunch of black pages. Like, gee, I can't tell if this is Epstein or JFK. They look the same. A bunch of redactions.
So have you gone through, how much of the files have you
There's 119 pages of consecutive redactions. Oh, but what's the point? And then it's redacted here, there, and everywhere. It's stupid.
I saw your post. They even redacted Virginia's face in one photo, right?
They even redacted photos that are widely circulated already that everyone knows who it is.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Well, what the fuck is that all about?
Because like, the FBI is not going to piss off the donor class. I have the real list anyway.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
It's like, guys, you don't need the authorities to tell you who it was. The victims already told us who it was. His employees already told us who it was. The court cases against JP Morgan Chase and the Deutsche Bank told us who it was. Internal communications that have been leaked and spread by journalists, about Epstein's own emails, Maxwell's emails, Jean-Luc Brunel's emails show who their clients were. And you can, all those things I just said cooperate with each other, and you can compile a list. But they're waiting for some folder pulled out of a locker that just has all the names of the clients. Yeah. I promise you, that is never, ever going to happen. That would be the end of the state of Israel if they were to do this. It's not happening. I mean, Les Wexner's not in jail. He was the principal financer of Epstein and Ehud Barak and a lot of other bastards. And Ehud Barak's a client too. Leon Black's not in jail. Jess Staley's not in jail. Glenn Dubin's not in jail. Everyone knows these were Epstein associates. Everybody knows this. Instead, they're like, what about David Copperfield? And how about him? Who cares? That's just not Bill Clinton. I mean, he's in a little bit of hot water. Like anybody didn't know he was a lecherous pervert.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even think they care. Democrats don't care. They're like, oh,
they don't give a shit. That's for damn sure.
It's getting to the point where our society is so degenerate. They're like, well, there shouldn't be an age of consent anyway. No. They don't care.
Right.
They're mad at the girls. Like, you're a whore. Man, blame the pedophile. Stop this stuff. But, it's too many wealthy people. And so they blacked it out. Powerful people, too. I mean, between the president of the United States and a couple of prime ministers of Israel alone, it should tell you the caliber of guests that Epstein had under his thumb. And it's not necessarily blackmail. It's more like a reward structure for your obedience to Israel.
Okay,
this idea
that Epstein was essentially Israel first, so to speak, where...
Oh, yeah, he was.
Okay.
So was Wexner. I mean, the Wexner Foundation, the founding president of the Wexner Foundation was from Rudolf Sonborn's gang, which smuggled nuclear material to Israel. And he's part of every pro-Zionist Jewish group that you can name and has given them money. Hardcore Zionist. And then through Reporty Carbine, they're financing several different pedophile cults. The Nexium cult of Keith Raniere, that was through the Bronfmans as well. Robert Miller, who didn't need any financing, but they supported him. Ehud Barak and Ehud Omar, who got convicted of sexual harassment, by the way. And then the Steinhardts, that whole mega group, they're all a bunch of perverts. But they get away with this. But a lot of it is like it's not blackmail. They're just rich and enjoy fucking kids. That's all. They're already ideologically in line and doing what you say. You don't have to twist their arm. This is just something these perverts engage in. This idea that like, oh, he had cameras in all the rooms in his house, and that, think that through. If you film someone having sex with a woman or a girl in your house, you can't use that. The first thing the police are going to do is say, why are they in your house? Why do you have a teenager in your house at all? Why do you have a secret camera in your bedroom or whatever? You know, you're going to have to explain why they're on your property. Now you're implicated, you know?
Okay.
He did have cameras in his house. It was more to film his own abuse so he could go and rewatch it and stuff, like trophies. When they set up a client, it was always neutral territory, hotels, or not on his own property. They did do massages on his property because he's servicing these people, but he's not filming that for blackmail.
Right.
Like, you can't use that. It's dumb. I mean, you could get them hooked. You could store communications, text messages and stuff with the girls. But normally the John is aware of that and is only going to talk to the intermediary and never communicate with the girl directly because that's stupid. But I mean, it's also like, listen, all these guys know how to buy an escort. Escorts is legalized prostitution. They all know how to do that. The people at Bear Stearns, the things where Epstein work, they know how to launder money. They don't need his special advice to know how to do that. They know how to get a prostitute. So there's only one special thing about Epstein, is that he had him underage.
Right.
It's the only thing. You don't need to go to him to fuck a 22-year-old. You just grab any magazine in the back of 7-Eleven, flip to the escorts, and call one up. Or just find a gold digger or whatever. It's not hard. But you can just browse Instagram and find a whore. It's not a problem. But, well, maybe in the 90s it was harder. They didn't have all that. And that's when he serviced a lot of people. But there's always been, you go to Vegas, you do whatever, you can buy a hooker. So that's not what it was about. It's, they wanted to fuck kids. And it's hard to find a kid. You know, like, that's, you can't just buy children, at least not in the United States. Not overtly anyway. And so he could procure that for them. And he did a special type of money laundering because he essentially ran St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. He had half of the government on his payroll. And so he had this scheme where he could get upwards of 90% deduction on income taxes. So that's how he was servicing these billionaires. There's nothing complicated. They just found a niche and exploited it to the very end. But the fact that our government is protecting these perverts, when you see a whole black page, it's like, this doesn't tell you anything. I'm like, au contraire. That tells you everything. Right. That tells you everything. Like, with, like, it comes out, it's just like, here's my Epstein list. Here's the government's Epstein list. It's like, that's what it looks like. What do you expect? You want them to tell on themselves? They should impeach Pam Bondi. And I know whoever it was going to obey, but she needs to go. Patel needs to go. Dan Bongino resigned already. And
yeah,
I'm
what are your
sure
on that, Ryan? I wanted to ask
I
you.
think he saw this coming. He's like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I think he was disgusted. You know, he seemed like, I don't agree with him on anything almost, but I feel like he's at least not a pedophile, pretty low bar. And he's not going to cover for him either. He's got that much. He's got enough integrity to say, I'm not going to be part of this. So good for him. But he's really kind of put himself in a corner because, I don't know, he's a podcaster. Like, he didn't need to be where he was. I don't know why Trump picked this circus of a cabinet. Why he has Huckabee or Witkoff or Hegseth the drunk for the
Hegseth.
War Department. You know, the only two adults I can think of in his admin are Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. And RFK Jr.'s got a slew of problems too, but at least he's like an intelligent person. Whereas I can't say that for the rest of them. Definitely not Jared Kushner.
Yeah, he's getting really deep into things, isn't he? It's crazy to see when they're supposed to be doing like peace talks and stuff or whatever. And you see him as like one of the
His
two.
father's a convicted felon, and his father set up sexual blackmail and honey traps. Charles Kushner went to jail, not for that, but for illegal campaign financing in the New Jersey governor race.
Okay, yes, that's right.
But in the middle of all that, he blackmailed his own brother-in-law. He blackmailed one of his employees, sexual blackmail, hired prostitutes, secretly filmed it in hotels, all that. That was Charles Kushner. This is something they do. But, you know, that whole New York, New Jersey cesspool, that's how it is. And what's weird to me is having sex with the wrong person will destroy your career more than, you know, advocating for murder and genocide and theft and, you know, harmful crimes. They seized another oil tanker from Venezuela, which is piracy.
Oh, another one.
Yet, and that they're the terrorists. Like, they call Venezuela a terrorist state, even though they've not committed any acts of terrorism and have not been accused of committing any acts of terrorism. Somehow they're a terrorist state. But Trump's meeting Giuliani in the White House, the leader of ISIS, the biggest terrorist organization besides the CIA, ever. Killed hundreds of thousands of people in Syria. He also worked under al-Baghdadi from al-Qaeda in Iraq. And he gets to go to the White House. He's not a terrorist. He definitely is, but, you know, not labeled as such. Because it's HTS now instead of ISIS. And yet Venezuela, Maduro, like, they're terrorists. And they could just blow up fishing boats, which is an act of terrorism because you're fighting terrorists. It's just the mask is off. They don't even try. Like, at least George Bush Jr., when he invaded Iraq for no reason, did a good year of propaganda and lied about WMDs and at least pretended to act like we thought it was this, but we got it wrong. Trump doesn't
give a fuck, man.
He doesn't even try. He's like, we're their terrorists, bang, blow up a boat. It's turning out to be the worst presidency since Lincoln. Like, worse than Obama, which is difficult.
Yeah, Obama was pretty bad.
Obama invaded Libya for nothing, triple the size of the war in Afghanistan, double the size of Gitmo. Drone struck Americans.
Right.
That whole Ukraine-Russia thing started on his watch. Like, it's bad. He was awful. But and Obamacare. The Unaffordable Care Act. It was just, I just can't even think of a W. But even he was much more of a statesman than Trump. Sure. Trump is just he wants to do real estate in Gaza.
Yeah, it's so despicable. Some of his perceived goals.
Do you think, though? I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna be interview guy. Do you think with this Epstein total flop, which is I predicted all year, I said they're just going to give you a bunch of redacted pages.
Yeah, you have.
Will this kill MAGA? Will MAGA finally turn on all of them and be like, what? I don't know. I think he's going to lose it. I think the Republicans are going to get creamed in the midterms, and a lot of it's because of Epstein.
Yeah, I think every time Epstein floats to the top, and however it's handled, which is always badly and ridiculous, I think more and more crumbles. And I think now with what you're telling us, that we're seeing all these blank pages, redacted pages, I think that's going to hurt yet again. And now that you have some people that are individuals that are speaking up more at the forefront, and I mean, you just have so many people that are MAGA or not, that are just so pissed off about it, and it seems to be a turning point for MAGA people. So, yeah, I would say that things are not going to go well for the rest of Trump's term, his support. I mean, it's going down and down, right? I think it's been hitting all-time lows, his acceptance rates. But yeah, I think that, like you said, the Republicans are going to have a tough time. They're going to start losing elections, losing seats. And
now there was a Republican at the forefront at getting them released. That was Thomas Massey. But
right.
he's kind of like the only actual Republican. The rest of them are a bunch of rhinos and migatards. They're all Israel first. So are the Democrats. But the way the public's going to see it is they never, for some reason, they can't see it's both. It's, it's the other team.
Yeah, I know.
But a lot of people on this list are Democrats.
You just got to say it's both of us.
It's sick, man. It's sick that they're all involved in this weird sexual crap, but they are. And Israel was able to steal U.S. science and technology because Epstein would use his donations as clout on universities and on specific scientists themselves, even so he could get access to R&D. And, Israel gets all of it. They've been very quiet. You see, the Zionist crowd never pushes to release the Epstein files or JFK. They're all like, oh, in fact, they started saying releasing JFK files is anti-Semitic.
What? They'll say
why would you say why? I remember Benicide Shapiro said, "Who really cares about JFK? Does it really matter?" It's like it's really clear that you already know why he was killed and who did it, and you don't want anything released. Yeah, and nothing did. They just released stuff we already had. And I'm tired. Like, I did these investigations. I put it out there. I believe I've proved it on the Kennedys and on Epstein. But it doesn't matter. Like, until the guy on television says it, it just doesn't resonate with a lot of people. They need an authoritative voice. That is. They're like, it's selective outrage. Like, is it okay to be outraged by this? And I think it's the lemming effect. The majority of people have no principles, and they're only outraged when it's safe to be. So when everyone's told they got to hate X, then they'll hate that. Yeah. Because there's no skin in the game. Look at, like, a lot of people have turned on Israel recently, but where were they 10, 20 years ago? No, because there was consequences then. There still is now, but far less. I'm like, wow, how many dead babies, how many pictures of children smashed in the rubble did it take for people to grow a spine and call it out for what it is? And really, what broke the media monopoly was TikTok, which is now dead because they bought it. But there was a brief window where you could go on TikTok and talk about the genocide of Gaza. And an entire generation learned what was going on. But that should have been all over, like, Meta, YouTube, Twitter, and it wasn't. So in a small degree, Twitter started allowing it. But now that's over. AI is policing it. And I'm looking back at my posts that get 1 million views or 500,000 views. Now I'm lucky to crack 12,000. And they're like, oh, it's just there's no. I'm like, dude, no. You're definitely doing the kosher editing. We all know it. But those days where I could post about Epstein and get 1 to 4 million views are over. That'll never happen again. And, Elon doesn't know what's going on with his own code or whatever. We're like, you're letting Grok do it? Great. I wish Grok 3 did it. That one lasted about a day. They had to put the handrails on Grok.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's Israel. But I think, like, the info got out to enough people that they can't put the genie back in the bottle. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping people saw it. There's just now they're psyops with, like, Brown Pig, Candace Owens, who, after getting bunked on the Egyptian plane crap and getting debunked on the Google Trends crap, has just moved on to some other bullshit. And it's like, She had some guy on acting like he was somebody he wasn't. She doesn't vet these people. He basically imitated
Who was the
Erika.
recent person?
I saw her at a military base. Those are unforgettable eyes. Dude, you're a con man. And everyone knew that but her. Or I think she knew and didn't care. She's like, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have someone else say it. Then I didn't say it. Now I'm not held responsible. But she platformed millions of people, which is utter crap. She was not at a military base. None of that shit happened. But it sucks all the air out of the room. People are addicted to this conspiratainment stuff. But I even saw Alex Jones, who I hope, dies of dehydration from chronic diarrhea. Like I fucking hate him. But even the king of grifting is calling her out, being like, lady, when you have like Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes and myself and like Adam Green and Pearl Davis, this is like a really broad spectrum across the thing, and Ethan Ralph and like all agree this woman's nuts. I think you need to listen. Like, God, I actually agreed with Alex Jones. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Even he's like, she needs to pump the brakes. Like he does it in a way of like, I wonder about her mental health, or should she be abused? Like, no,
Right.
I don't think she's crazy. I think she's just making money lying and doesn't care. Which he ought to know.
Right, yeah.
That's his whole life.
I wonder what's gonna be her end, man. Like, I wonder what will, like, if the Bridget McCrone thing gets resolved. I mean, she'll double down on.
It's going to be a jurisdiction issue there.
That. Oh, okay.
And like, it's clear, like, even if they might not win defamation because it's so hard to prove defamation, but they can easily prove she's a woman, which just makes Candace dead wrong. But it won't matter. She's just going to say the results are fake. Like, it doesn't matter. No matter what you do. She's like, oh, I don't believe that. I didn't see her. Yeah. Oh, you could have your dick removed. Oh, she could have XX chromosomes and she just say the DNA is fake or whatever. Like, it's ad hoc hypotheses indefinitely. It's just like the 9/11 kook movement. And if you Venn diagram the 9/11 kook movement with the Candace cult, it would be a circle. It's 100% overlap. I can't stand them.
No way.
Like, this is why we lose. The public's retarded.
Right.
You've got Thailand is going to up. I'm predicting the war with Cambodia. Like, it's happening. Venezuela is red hot right now. Oh yeah, have you heard about this? So they'll say it's about a temple on the border of Cambodia that in the 60s was legally, like, it was disputed, but they legally, like, decided this is part of Cambodia. It's not about the temple. It's about the land near the temple, which is filled with rare earth metals. That's what they're fighting about, but they won't say it. Thailand has a superior military to Cambodia. They could edge them out. They couldn't occupy them or anything, but they could definitely win a war. But this is just it's so dumb. It's hard to have sympathy for Cambodia because they're very large in organ trafficking and a bunch of other just disgusting activities. But I don't want a war. And this could be resolved, but instead, China's on Cam's side, US is on Thailand's side. It just a bunch of innocent people are going to get destroyed. No one's talking about it. The same thing, the civil war in Sudan. It's getting so bad. People hung on trees and stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to bring attention to these things to get people to care. They just don't. They're still killing kids in Gaza. Still annexing the West Bank.
Yeah, what the fuck is with that? Like,
what it is like everything.
What's going on there, Ryan?
Well, what happened is everyone's stuck on the Charlie Kirk conspiratainment, and so nothing else gets attention. It's almost like dead even between that and the Epstein files. Right. This should be the biggest fucking story ever. Congress told you to release the files, and the DOJ redacts 119 pages consecutively. This should be all over the news nonstop, and it should be all over social media. Instead, it's Candace. It's disgusting. And then we had a couple of boxing matches, with Jake Paul had one, Andrew Tate had one. That's good for sport and all, but it's just like, man, it doesn't matter compared to this political news. But there needs to be a balance. I'm not saying never be entertained or whatever, but for fuck's sake, man, like Europe is pissing off the Russians. They're talking about, seizing their assets and using and giving them to Ukraine. Like, they're shooting themselves in the foot. No one's going to ever invest or trust you again when you just seize control of assets. You're going to make BRICS stronger. You're going to make a breakaway. And if you Ukraine's not going to win the war. They had a nice counterstrike a couple days ago, but overall, not going well for them, running out of soldiers. I don't know if NATO is going to make it through next year. I don't, at least not with U.S. participation. I'm not sure. And that would be a good thing. That would be the first good thing. Well, Trump did some minor things. He got rid of paper straws, no men and women's sports. That opening week where he cut off U.S. aid temporarily, those were all good things. And then they brought the hammer on him, and it's just been terrible. He's all anti-Iran, bombed Yemen, bombed Venezuela.
There was all
meeting with ISIS was a low point.
Okay.
That was just, you're legitimizing a terrorist takeover of Syria. That's what he did. But to be honest, Biden, it's all the same. They all would have done it. Obama and Biden financed ISIS in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if they're scared because they almost blew his head off, or if it's the blackmail. He 100% knew what Epstein was doing and said nothing.
Yeah.
There's no way. Everyone who's been, you look at his birthday cards, they're all joking about it and stuff. They all knew what he did. They all knew.
Oh, Epstein. That Epstein,
Well, yeah, it's not just Epstein, but that's the one that got the most attention. Not so much for Peter Nygard, no, because he didn't have as high profile a guest, although he also had Prince Andrew. Some of the other ones just kind of stuck to themselves. Epstein, I got a map up on my door right there, that white one.
Yeah, I know.
It's hey, if you don't want the government's list, then you can go to antineocon.com and wear it on your back, because I have it all mapped out. First page, it's all that would fit. Is listed from your shoulder blades down to, your butt crack. Is all Epstein people. I don't know. It in a way, and this sounds cynical as hell, but I'm thinking, does it even matter? I mean, Israel just blew up 2 civilian cities, dropping bombs on apartments full of people in front of the world, and it didn't move the needle. So are a couple extra rapes going to matter? I mean, exactly what would they have to do to lose support? We do not have a principled country. We do not have morality at all. It's just whoever pays you, that's what they go with. And there's a big Israel lobby, and there's no Palestine lobby.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if they murder, if they rape prisoners, if they bury people alive, if they burn them to death. They don't care. And still, a huge chunk of the public doesn't know, or they agree with it because they're dispensationalist Christians and earthers that just Jews can do no wrong. You have to bless them, as Ted Cruz said. So you don't have to bless what they're doing. I'd argue they're not really Jews either. Like, if you want to
Right.
get in that. Trans Semites. Netanyahu's the Antichrist. This is the world we live in. Mike Rivero has this saying, always force a dictatorship to act like one. Well, Thomas Massey and Rokan, they just did that. They said, release the files, and they just released it, a bunch of redacted pages. Now they can't hide it. It's not like, oh, now everyone knows. They can't tell you and will not tell you. They are protecting a pedophile ring. They are protecting a money laundering ring. It's organized crime, and the government's on their side.
So what's next?
I wish there was some good news.
Right. I know.
We try and think. The bear problem in Japan's starting to get resolved as it gets colder. We're hoping they'll hibernate. So that'll be the end of that.
So what's going on with the bears in Japan?
It's the weirdest thing. It's there's tens of thousands of bears. Two kinds. It's the smaller black bear that is. They didn't have enough food, acorns. Apparently, they didn't have enough nuts, so they started encroaching on human territory. It got pretty bad. I mean, the bears have murdered 13 people. One, it might be 14 soon because one is severely injured. 230 something harmed. Because at first, like most people in Japan don't have guns, and if they do, it won't do anything to a bear anyway. And just they were not expecting all these bears to come out of the bamboo. And Japan is like two countries, east and west, or you could say north south, because it's kind of a shaped like this. But there's the Kansai region from like Shiga, Mie, Nara, Kyoto, Wakayama, Osaka. That's like the kinky areas. That's what it's called, kinky, whatever. Kansai. They're their own. And then northeast of that, which would be like Tokyo, Nagoya, all that stuff, they're different. And Kansai's people are like, shoot the bears. But the northerners are, no, trap the bears. But it's the north getting hit by more bears. So you'd think it'd be the opposite, but it isn't. Because bears look kind of like people, and they have soft face, round eye. People are like, oh, bears. It's a bear, but they don't want to kill the bears. Okay, fine. Trap the bears. But when they're murdering people, because they are animals, you got to be on team people. I don't want to shoot bears. I don't want to go into the woods and find them and shoot them. But when they come into a village, shoot them. I don't think there's a real argument there. But they're like, no, we can trap them. So, which makes it way harder. It's easier to shoot them, actually. This is the craziest thing. So they started trapping the bears. This is after a bear went into an Aeon mall, by the way. It just went in. It's hilarious. It's not. It is funny, actually, because it already happened. It doesn't open doors. It just knocks them down, the internal stuff. Okay. It's just, he goes in the grocery store and just pigs out. Oh. One bear ate 91 apples at an apple orchard in one night. 91. They have this infrared camera that caught it. So they just sat there and counted how many apples it ate. They can eat about 100 a day, was assumed, and that's 91. Then took a big old bear Bernanke.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were coming in, and the prefecture Nara, which hugs Kyoto, has wild deer that you can pet. It's a sacred animal. You can't touch the deer. They roam all over the city and they're just part of life. The bear attacked the deer, which of course the bear is going to attack a deer. But these deer are dumb. They're used to people and they don't run. The bear just had a nice dinner. We shot that bear. But so in the north, especially, they were trying to trap the bears, and they did. And it worked at first. And then the bears adjusted. They adapted.
Oh shit.
Bears are learning.
Oh no.
That's a scary sentence. The bears are learning.
Oh no.
They started avoiding the traps. Somehow. This new wave of bears knew not to fall for it.
What the hell? That's awesome.
Like,
That's
how
wild.
did the other bears communicate to them? They've been euthanized.
Yeah.
And that's the dumbest thing. I'm like, what do you think they do after they trap the bear? They inject it and kill it anyway. So the people who are like, don't shoot the bears. Like, what do you think? They put them in a zoo? Get bent, dude. They kill all those bears. But anyway, it's the public, whatever. So we have these crews. Sorry, my eyes watering. I have macular degeneration.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
I'm trying not to look at the screen because it, whatever. So these, okay. So people are armed with drones, darts, like tranquilizers, and guns. But I can tell you this from being on the Kansai team, fucking nobody's using the darts.
Okay. Yeah.
But they have them because the public wants you to trap the bears.
Wants you to try to use the darts.
Yeah. Right. So the bears in the south are just getting shot. Up north, hunters are shooting them. The government teams are trapping them. And it's about more have been trapped than have been shot, but not by much. But they have like the government's can find them easier. They've got drones and all this stuff. So the public kind of has to react to when there's a bear sighting and then go, The drones, though, once the bear goes into the bamboo, you can't really follow it. I mean, it's like every 18 inches, there's a huge bamboo tree. So try to fly through that. You need a real gamer to get through that mess. But once they pop out, like if they get in an apple orchard or something, then you can follow them. And that policy in its prefecture to prefecture was like follow it around with the drone, as long as it's not within, people, and then get it when it sleeps.
Okay.
And that has happened, but I can tell you, no one's obeying that almost. But they follow them with the drones, and it's great footage because you can film the bears and like look where it is, and there's bears. There's even an app now. Akuma app, yeah.
Oh.
It's exciting. So the prefecture that's been hit pretty hard is called Aomori, which means blue forest. And they're known for rice and apples. And the bears have been eating apples like there's no tomorrow. That's their thing. So they've done like $5 million in damage to farms,
wow.
Especially apple orchards. So I'm like, does that count as forest? Because it's man-made, right? So you can shoot them, right?
Okay.
It's a farm. But the public's really torn. They don't want you to shoot the bears, and I don't get it because you're delusional. When you trap them, they end up dead anyway.
Yeah.
But, it's just. I guess the Buddhist thing is it's not about that they die. It's that the act of violence itself hurts you too. Okay, maybe, but I don't know. I wish there was another way, but you can't really scare a bear. You can't really I'd like to hear a better solution. But I mean, what are you going to do? Take them and then helicopter them back to the middle of the woods and drop them off on top of the mountain and wait for them to come down again? What do you want? Make a bear island and put them all there. Have a Royal Rumble of bears. I'm not sure. I said can't we just import acorns and put those? I don't know how many that would take or what. I mean, if you're losing millions of dollars and you've killed like 9,000 bears already, it just seems like there's got to be a better solution. Yeah. We just feed them gingers or something. It'd be like Japanese game show. People on death row, right? You cover them in honey.
On death row.
You cover them in honey. You have to hold these apples. You got 20 minutes. If you survive. That would be awful, dude. Awful. Dude, death by bear.
That'd be
they're
rough.
cute. They're cute, but come on, they're 1,000-pound killers.
Yeah, they're dangerous for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It's like women at the DMV. 1,000-pound killers.
Motherfucker.
Anyway, it seems as it's getting colder that some of them are choosing to hibernate. So hopefully this war will be over.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
It's not like the Emu War in Australia. This is like 10,000 to 13 people. Still, what a weird situation. I remember back in 2021 there was a little bit of a bear problem, but this year is off the chain. And I actually know the Prime Minister of Japan in a tertiary way. She's from Nara, where I used to live.
Okay.
And I know the government's there. I know the governor. I know the mayor of Haggerty too. So I got to be on a bear team. But it was kind of boring. It was mostly following around bears with drones because there's not a lot of bears in the South yet.
Okay.
There's some in Kyoto, but they're all up north right now. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's because we shoot them, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Japanese people are all excited about the bear. They don't have political issues like America, where there's always something crazy every day. It's just things are pretty well functioning and nothing. This was crazy though. Bears attacking people, that's nuts.
Yeah, man. But
like you're more likely to that an animal attack is more likely than getting stabbed on a bus. Like right. Bears have killed more people than people have killed people.
That's crazy.
In some of these prefectures. And that's a good stat to have. It's not like they're like, I think Japan has the lowest homicide rate of any industrialized nation. It may be just period, per capita. So they're doing something right.
Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah. No kidding. I don't know if you saw.
But you had some questions from last time that we didn't get to roll on.
Yeah. We can.
I went off on religion for like an hour.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. We can. We can brush up on the rest on Epstein a bit more. Did you see?
Yeah.
I saw this that there are files apparently that have disappeared from the DOJ webpage. Have you heard of that yet?
Oh, it's like 256 files now.
Is it really? So do you know what's going on with that? Are they taking stuff away that they feel that they shouldn't have released, or do you know what's being pulled?
I swear they're so lazy they don't even read them. They just do Control F for certain names and then redact the whole page. Like they had plenty of time to sanitize these documents. The problem is they're so disgusting that you really can't just omit the bad parts without there being barely anything left, And they'll say, "Oh, we're protecting the identities of victims." And no, you are protecting the perpetrators. Everyone knows. Look at that. This is going to destroy the DOJ and FBI. Like whatever credibility they had. Yeah, see, that picture is already out too.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought that one looked familiar.
Yeah, there's no point in this.
That's odd. What the hell's that all about?
Gross wallpaper too, by the way.
Yeah. He's got like 3 or 4 pairs of glasses there next to the lube.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There's Slick Willie.
Yeah, with Kevin Spacey
Mm-hmm.
in the war room.
Got to have a big map behind you to look serious. Look at
Yeah.
this. Black, 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 space, black.
Like, oh god, this one's great. Looking at his titty cake. He's got his U.S. Army pants. He likes wearing like uniforms and stuff.
Is like Harvard sweatshirt where he never
Harvard
went.
sweatshirt. And then Alan Dershowitz told the story about how when they were in Israel, he bought him a IDF shirt, and he's wearing the IDF shirt. The photo that we passed earlier, he's wearing, it looks like some sort of military or maybe a Navy uniform shirt or something. It's, yeah. I don't know. It's weird that he likes all those. Who the fuck is this guy?
It looks like Copperfield.
Oh, that's David. Oh, that is David Copperfield. Yeah. Wow. I haven't seen that one.
It's a shame. He's an excellent magician. There's Clinton.
There's Bubba.
Yeah,
Trump,
Bubba.
Trump blowing Bubba in the hot tub.
That's a girl. You can see her shoulders. Yeah, there's Maxwell and Bubba.
Yeah, big Bubba. This one is actually hilarious. It's like, who the fuck dressed you guys? Like, like who bought the shirts? Like, one of them definitely bought the shirts and was like, hey Jeff.
That looks like something The Rock would wear in the 1990s.
Yeah, man.
Except he could pull it off. You know?
The Rock says.
The Rock says. Yeah.
Oh my god, ridiculous. There's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Ross. Michael Jackson just looks like he doesn't even want to fucking be there.
Yeah, when he's freaked out.
Yeah, like he doesn't. He looks pretty freaked out. He's like, I don't like.
He's like, this is not what you told me.
Well,
he was falsely accused. That's the irony. There's way more coverage of Wacko Jacko than on this.
Yeah.
This seems big because of social media, but on TV they barely talk about it. Such disgusting design, by the way. Yeah.
Mick Jagger, yeah. This one, that's an old one. See that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's on the plane.
Yeah, exactly. The foot rubs on the plane.
Lolita Express.
Yeah, exactly. The Lolita Express.
They have her in jail. They could put the squeeze on her. They just don't. Trump might pardon Maxwell. Can you imagine?
Oh God!
I almost support that. I'm like, yeah, do it. Go ahead and implode the government because that's what would happen.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, that's gonna really piss everyone off. This photo is pretty disturbing. Some are saying that this is a toddler's leg.
It looks to be about 5 or 6. Yeah, not a toddler.
Oh, sorry, not a toddler, but like a child. My mistake.
Oh, definitely.
Not a toddler. Not a toddler, but
yeah.
Which is freaky because he's got his shirt off and fuck yeah, that wallpaper's terrible. There you go, highly redacted.
Man, I just want to go through all my tweets, gang. You're not going to get any fucking files. I kept saying it from like March to now. I said, you're not. This is never going to happen. Still got to fight for it. You still got to force their hand and make them redact them. That's still a W.
So, what do you think the next kind of step is in this whole debacle? Like,
I think they need to impeach Pam Bondi.
Okay, so
I know she didn't do this alone, but like, hey, you're in charge. That picture's out too. that was released a couple months ago.
Oh God.
Giant check for Donald Trump.
This one's like ridiculous. The Massage for Dummies book, and the book is just like looks like it's been up someone's asshole at least twice. Like, Holy, that book has seen some action for sure. It's been flying around on the Lolita
It says
Express.
Assange. Get it? Ha ha ha. So
Yeah.
mature.
Assange for dummies.
I bet Lindsey Graham could fit it up there.
That's probably whose ass it was up, man. Fuck. Ridiculous. Yeah, Ferguson looking like retarded. This one's good with the picture, the picture of the desk and like all the photos of him and Trump stuffed in the fucking.
They were best buds for a long time.
Yeah. I think.
The witch.
Yeah. My God. Oh yeah, here. There's the other one. He looks a little more comfortable here with Jeffrey Epstein. Michael.
Figured he was just flirting around with billionaires.
Yeah. Epstein always had all sorts of fucking people around him, right? For all sorts of different reasons. So
That picture.
yeah, like that.
Same artist made one of George Bush throwing paper airplanes.
Oh, the Bush one. I like the Bush. I love the Bush one. The Bush.
I'd put that on my wall.
Yeah, agreed.
Right next to my 9/11 movie. Like,
I wouldn't put that on my wall, but so okay.
Look at this.
What about Andrew? Like, what do you think's going to happen with Andrew? Like, do you think he's ever going to go to the States and answer questions? Is he just going to,
He got grilled pretty hard in the UK. They
Oh, really?
He's still the prince, but he can't use his titles. Well, he can. He's voluntarily not going to. He's no longer the duke or whatever. Although he is, technically. But
oh, really?
So
I thought he was stripped of him, like actually stripped of him.
No, he's been since voluntarily not going to use them. They would need an act of parliament to officially get rid of his titles.
Oh, wow, that's a big
De facto, his titles are gone, so he could call him the the artist formerly known as Prince Andrew.
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha.
Randy Andy. It kind of sucks because he got photographed with a 17-year-old in Maxwell's house, but it's almost like, you see him, you see Clinton. There's certain names that are all over the place. They're the only ones that aren't Jewish. If they notice that pattern, like Bill Gates, whatever. But if you're a Jewish pervert, it's like, no, they never named, never photographed, they never talk about it. Ehud Barak was the only one that got some flack because he's in the he's not Likud, so Netanyahu went after him. Netanyahu, Antichrist that he is, actually tweeted a photograph of Barak outside the rape mansion with his stupid fluffy hat, telling on him. It's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That was during the election, so they want us to kind of bash on labor, but
right.
These people.
Are there
people? It was. Let me see my calendar. I think Burnell. Yeah, I do a calendar every year with base Asian chicks because it pisses off the white nationalists and feminists at the same time. And, yeah, so on the 19th was the anniversary of Jean-Luc Brunel's arrest.
Oh.
And that's the day the Epstein files were released. And that was the number 3 guy in the network, maybe the number 2 guy above Maxwell.
What happened to him? He didn't die, did he?
He died in jail.
He did die in jail. Fuck,
all by himself, allegedly. He hanged himself.
We don't talk about that very much.
No, they didn't even know he was arrested or anything. Like, no, Epstein client has been arrested. I'm like, that's not true. A bunch of them have been arrested. Y'all just wait for TV to tell you the news.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he died by suiciding in jail. Man, I'm just looking at it. So today my time is the 21st over here. That's the anniversary of Director of Central Intelligence George Tenet calls WMD evidence a slam dunk case. He
Nice.
lied. That's all they do. Constant lie. Hey, this is our photo, by the way. Very early. Got our End All Aid to Israel coffee right there. It says End All Aid to Israel. Sweet Christmas is the quote by Luke Cage. Yeah.
Sweet Christmas.
Yeah, I sell these every year. They're nice. I actually sell this too. This bikini with my logo on it. Why not?
Nice.
Yeah. But it's a good thing to have because it gets you like this day in history stuff. Even I forget things. I'm like, oh, look at that. Atlanta.
I like that.
For example,
yeah. I'm gonna have to look into that. Maybe I'll get
when Israel bombed Lebanon earlier this year, it was on the anniversary of the ceasefire with Lebanon.
Are you
like what a just twisting the knife. It's so them. There never was a ceasefire. Only Lebanon had to cease fire. Israel can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants. You notice that the moment any of their neighbors fight back, that's when the story starts. As if there was no provocation, no occupation, no deaths, no arrest, nothing. Just out of the blue, Israel got attacked for no reason at all. That narrative's dead. Finally, people had the courage to call a spade. Not all. Right. Even Pierce Morgan has started to come around on that issue.
Yeah. I watched.
You just can't survive without admitting it, like
come on, man.
He was a fucking shill for a long time. Do you condemn Hamas? No, I don't. Do you condemn Crazy Horse? He killed Custer and all that. He'd be like, but you took your army on their land, and then he wiped you out. That's, what'd you want him to do? Just roll over and die? You're occupying them. You built a wall around their cities. You control their electricity, their sewage, their water, all their utilities. You have a blockade of what comes in and out. They have no seaport. They have no airport. You murdered 233 Palestinians in 2023 prior to October. You have checkpoints. You desecrate their mosque. Eventually, you keep poking a dog, it'll bite you. And the majority of civilians that died on October 7th because the Israelis murdered them themselves. They wanted a higher death toll so they could react to it. So they had the Hannibal directives.
All right. And what are the Hannibal directives again?
They can murder their own. Right. They don't want. They say they didn't want hostages. But
like if they take hostages, right?
It's stupid because you could have gotten all the hostages the first day by doing an exchange, which is what they ended up doing eventually anyway, was a hostage swap. All the killing didn't matter. If you let Palestinians out of jail, they will give you the Israelis back. That's all they had to do. And that was offered to them. And there was a huge exchange. 104 prisoners that Hamas had captured were returned. It was like all the women and children, basically, for Palestinians, political prisoners. And that could have been done for everyone right away. But they wanted a pretext to be like, oh, release the hostages or else. Even after the hostages were released from a swap, Israel continued to kill and bomb and starve. Right now, they're under such strict blockade that there's only 4 spots to receive aid. Only 2 are open and only for about 15 minutes. And they just throw the aid on the floor. And often when the people run to go get it, they get shot at on their way back.
Shot, right? Yeah.
They're just shooting. They're using aid as bait and then shooting the people that get the aid. They blew up food trucks. They are intentionally and this is the public too. They go and ransack the aid like Israeli citizens do this.
Really? That's disgusting, man.
The trucks are trying to come in and they put rocks and stuff in the road and then they go in and they destroy it. And the Israeli army lets them do it. They want them to starve. They want them dead. They think they're Amalek. They think God gave them that land. This is the kind of lunatics we're dealing with. And the world it's almost like there was so much Palestinian death, they got numb to it. But the other day, they were finding skeletons that had been buried alive. They had those zip ties, those plastic handcuffs they put on kids. Their T-shirts and stuff were rotting away, and bones, and yeah, they had just handcuffed these people and then took took a bulldozer and just dumped sand on them and buried them alive. We have no idea how many civilians were murdered. They're saying like 60,000 children. That number is going to go up. They don't have the equipment to dig through the rubble. And there's rubble, like Gaza City, it looks like it was hit by a nuke. They bombed everything. As Charlie Kirk joked before he died, like, they used to throw gays off tall buildings. Now they don't have any tall buildings. By the way, no gay was ever thrown off a roof in Palestine. That happened in Saudi Arabia, and it happened once. They don't have any tall buildings. Ha, ha, ha.
Jeez, he said that.
Guy who gets shot by someone on a building.
Right.
That joking about victims of a genocide is lower than dog shit.
Yeah.
That's like John McCain level bad. I have a coffee mug. Oh, it's right here. It's John McCain burning in hell.
Oh man. Oh man.
That was a gift from a follower. I ought to make that and sell that.
That's great.
I should just have a series of neocons burning in hell. Get the whole set.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that. That sounds very Christmassy. You know, Cheney recently died, so we could have him in hell in his wheelchair with like a birdshot gun chasing a lawyer. It's the only thing he ever did right. Like, who didn't want to shoot Cheney's lawyer in the face?
Yeah, he fucked up
with birdshot. He's quail hunting. He just missed completely. I can see him just getting mad.
And just like, you know what, asshole?
Out, as the kids say, just shooting his lawyer.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Back to
neocons roasting on an open flame. That'd be a nice song. Someone should soon know that.
Girl.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that I don't believe in hell. I think I think Israel is hell. I think what they did to Gaza, that's hell. That's hell on earth.
Yeah, man.
And they are the demons.
I can just imagine. It's probably so amazingly terrible.
It'd be satisfying to think that they're just burning forever. They're not. They're just dead. They get away with it. God. I knew this day was happening with the pedophile cover up, but I still can't like emotionally digest it. Like this is it. There's just no like this isn't a movie that's gonna have an automatic fix or happy ending. This is life, and we're run by billionaire pedophiles. And the people who try to fix stuff, everything from Andrew Tate to Matt Gaetz, are getting falsely accused of this shit, while people who actually rape, and you have to use the word actually, are right there. I mean, there was butt sex in the Senate. You remember that? They filmed it.
No, what? Tell me
there
about that.
There are people fucking in the congressional building.
What? When was this?
And those pictures, you know, some pale ass in a back, you know, somebody's doing it from behind. That was just a shot across the bow. Like, hey guys, we will drop this other shoe if you don't get in line. I'm shocked that they could force the DOJ to release the files, but then again, they didn't really, because they're all redacted. So, but I hope the public is enraged. I hope they're furious. Like, quit talking about Charlie Kirk for a couple days. Talk about Epstein. This is like the most vulnerable the system has ever been. If there's ever something like everybody agrees on. Yeah.
Is this it?
That's I don't want to see the rest of it. Be careful.
There's more than that?
That is a cropped photo.
That's a crop photo? Okay.
Yeah, cool. It was worse. But I mean, like, yeah, you can bend it in the Senate. This is a line in a song I made. This is how they are. Oh, yeah. And I was a
Wow.
Democrat, but it doesn't matter. Dennis Hastert raped little boys for years. He was Speaker of the House.
Wow.
Perverts, man.
That's wild, man. So okay.
I'm surprised there's still something taboo that you can point to that outrage the public, because apparently killing kids just doesn't do it. Bombing Yemen didn't matter. It really didn't. Blowing up fishing boats, they were like, yeehaw, those are narco terrorists. No evidence needed. But, this disturbs people. The fact that they're running around fucking anything that moves. So let's utilize it. There needs to be enormous public outrage at the DOJ for redacting these files. It's also illegal. They're not supposed to have done this. But this is what you're going to get, and this is what I predicted you would get. Our step has to be, don't wait to see what happens. You got to be part of making it happen. You got to support Thomas Massey and the crew that helped get these files released. And you got to hold their feet to the fire. I mean, the people protecting these pedophiles, Patel, Bondi, that whole slew, Bongino resigned. They should not survive. Meaning, they should be out of office. I'm not saying tar and feather. I'm not saying not to tar and feather. I'm just not saying that. They should lose their jobs. Yeah, there's the rape mansion.
Well, I mean, hopefully we start seeing some pushback. Well, I mean, I'm sure we will. Like, it's not like it's just going to die down overnight.
I don't know, man. I can see them just going nuts on Twitter for a week or two, and then something else will happen. They, ding-a-ling, and they all look over there. Some racial crap or something, and they're so easily distracted. The day when they tried to get these files released through the Senate, and they voted 51-49 was the day Kirk was killed, and everyone's paying attention to that.
Right? Yeah, that's right. That is correct.
It's September 10th. Clinton's shoes.
Yeah, seriously.
Got to have red shoes. You know about that, right?
Yeah, true that, man.
Yeah.
True that. Yeah, red shoe club, baby.
Got their red shoes on. It's like putting pennies in your penny loafers. Mm-hmm.
So back to Venezuela. So can you tell us why is Trump picking on Venezuela, trying to start a war? Does it have primarily to do with oil? Is this a power move? Because like a lot of us, I remember when it first started, everyone just seemed very confused by it. Like
it is about oil, and it's not. It's not about like oil, like buying oil. Venezuela would sell oil to the U.S. U.S. sanctions them. It's about they want U.S. companies to control the refining, the whole process. They think it should be American. And if you rewind the clock, Hugo Chavez did renege on contracts with U.S. companies that built all this infrastructure for like sea rigs and things. And then he just fired them all and replaced them with Chavez loyalists. Like 19,000 people lost their jobs, and he just replaced them with his own. That didn't sit well. But man, that's got nothing to do with today. So when they do have a little bit of claim saying that's our oil, like, no, it's not your oil, but the refineries and things you built and the contracts that were reneged on they should have to pay for that or something. But man, you can't just say, oh, you're a narco terrorist and just start blowing up fishermen and seizing oil tankers and things. But then again, Venezuela refuses to sell oil to Israel and has since 2009. Okay. And Israel's desperate for oil because a lot of their sources have slowed down or stopped. If Turkey would just end it, they'd be done for. They're heavily reliant on that oil from BTC. It's not Turkey's oil; it's oil from Azerbaijan, but it has to go through Turkey. And if that was cut off, they'd be done. But it's just like it's almost like it's a winnable war. You know, someone easy to pick on doing this fucked up Monroe Doctrine thing. But, you know, it didn't go well in Ukraine. It went perfectly well in Syria because they wanted the terrorists to win. Didn't go well with Iran. Didn't go well with Yemen. You know, Yemen pushed back. So they're messing with Venezuela, the new boogeyman. It was like, why did Bush Sr. go after Panama before Iraq? It is pointless. But, you know, they always need militarism. This is great for the naval budget. You know, the Navy needed a turn at the wheel. So they, you know, get increased budgets. They made a big blockade of Venezuela. Could be Colombia next. And yeah, they want that control of the oil. They want a control of who it gets exported to. People will point, be like, well, China gets oil from Venezuela. I'm like, yeah, like 4%.
Okay.
They can live without it. That's not why. It's not why. You know, when the opposition within Venezuela is saying how good they'll be for Israel, you know who is pulling the strings.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're not going to send it to us? Well, regime change you. And it's, you know, they need it. They control Saudi oil. They can tell them when to produce more, when to produce less. But that doesn't work if there's a major oil exporter that doesn't play along. They would love to lower the cost of oil because that actually hurts Russia. Russia's an oil exporter. They tried to limit who, you know, Russia could sell oil to, and even the EU's like, we're not going to buy your oil, but they are just through intermediaries. Russia sells to India, and then India sells to Italy, and whatever. You know, it doesn't work. Like the demand's too high. They blew up the Nord Stream pipeline to cut off a direct route to Germany. It's not going to work. And it was Thomas Massey again who got up on the floor and said, you want a regime change Venezuela? How'd that go in Libya? How'd that go in Afghanistan? How'd that go in Syria? Not too great. How about Iraq? You know, in ad nauseum. Oh, so, but this is going to work just great. No, it will not. But I'm thinking, no, and from their point of view, all of those things you name went just as they wanted. They wanted to destroy Syria and Iraq. They didn't care about Afghanistan. They just wanted the opium. It doesn't matter if the Taliban's still in charge. They made a lot of money off that war. Killed a bunch of people that in their eyes don't matter. I don't want a war with Venezuela. But I really don't know how to prevent it. Like the administration just, public opinion doesn't matter. They don't even bother with propaganda. It's just do things.
Yeah, they're just going in with this one, man.
And, you know, if there's more pressure to unredact these files, we're going to have a bigger war. They need something huge to bump that out of the news cycle. And it's be very interesting to see how many of the televised networks are honest about this and do any real reporting on it anyway. It's almost entirely like X and Substack right now.
The Epstein thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, in the papers, like, I just mean like as far as TV goes.
Right.
I can't see Fox News doing anything in depth on this.
Right, yeah.
And it's going to come down. Bondi is not going to survive this. I know she's not solely responsible. I know she's taking orders. Doesn't matter. CCAG, get rid of her, put Matt Gaetz in her place. That would be amazing.
Okay.
That'd be my pick.
Is that your call, coach? Is that your call, coach?
I don't think he'll do it, but that's what I wish he would do. You need to get rid of her. If the public wanted a doable goal, get rid of Bondi. It's not going to fix everything, but somebody's got to get thrown under the bus. But then the question will be, will the new AG, what are they going to do? Are they ever going to unredact these files? And they're not. But I just don't see this going away short of a major war. Like even Candace can't distract people from this. Epstein is a big deal. Everyone cares about global pedophilia. It's just disgusting. He had an island.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story. It's not going away. So they're really in a corner, and they're going to get creamed in the midterms over this. Even though, as we said before, the Democrats were just as bad.
So will that make a difference once the pendulum swings more Democrat, or is it just going to swing so severely that they're just going to start locking their lips and tightening up once they have a chance to do anything?
Well, I mean, you're talking about a party that supported chemical lobotomies for little boys, so it's not like it's a loss either way. The people that think you can identify your sex through wishing. If the Democrats would just run somebody that dropped all the tranny crap and didn't advocate total open borders, they'd win with a landslide. But it's those two issues that are just like, oh, I don't care. Like, that's the worst. And I get it. But like, that's all they'd have to do. But they decided to go extreme for some reason and hand it to the Republicans. And Trump should have just said, look, release everything, actually be transparent. But he can't because he's in the files and everybody knows it. And all his donors are in the files. And it's great for the Democrats because they can act like, yeah, they don't want it unredacted either, but they can pretend otherwise because they know the Republicans aren't going to do it. So it's a W for them.
But what happens when the time comes, if the time comes where it's like, okay, well, Democrats, here's your chance, release it or unredact it or whatever.
No, they're not gonna. They're gonna say like they've been deleted because they're deleting them now, right? They say, oh yeah, well the last they deleted all the really, really good files. They've been purged. Like, why do you even have them if you're just gonna erase them once someone's gonna leak? Somebody will leak it. If not, I already compiled it the slow way. But I don't know. I don't see any big shows knocking on my door being like, why did you say this person or that person? I can give the backstory on each character. It's just, I don't know. Clickbait and sensationalism have kind of taken over, and we'll see. But it is exciting that already, and it's like pretty late at night in the US, like tomorrow morning your time is when shit's really gonna hit the fan.
Okay.
I think because most of the people are asleep, especially the East Coast. They're gonna wake up to this Epstein fiasco and go, what? 119 redacted pages? Well, why? It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be ugly, and that's exactly what we need. You got to rip the scabs, man. Like, we need a total cleanup of government on all levels. And we need real transparency. And we have to support the few congressmen that really were pushing to do this. And in the next elections, like anybody getting APAC money or UDP or any APAC affiliate, automatic no. In fact, if they're an incumbent, vote against them. This just never tends to happen, but this has never been something in the news cycle this big that united so many people either. So this could be the silver lining to this very disgusting criminal ring, is that, people do know part of the story, and that part is bad enough, and they are going to act on that. But my fear is the charlatans are going to grab this Epstein thing and steer it off a cliff or some kind of nonsense. They already kind of started to do that. Be like, he's still alive and he's in Israel. Look at his ear.
Yeah.
He's definitely dead. They did 2 autopsies on him. That's where they found the broken bone in his neck, which goes against the official story. You wouldn't allow that. You can't do an autopsy on a living person. It's just so dumb, but they're going to do it. I hope it doesn't work. I don't think they can Alex Jones their way out of this one.
No, I don't think so.
Although Candace is the new Alex.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work. You cannot Egyptian plane your way out of this. Like, they did it. We've got the goods. This needs to happen. I'm habitually, I do magic tricks. So I was just like,
oh, nice.
some cards, and I don't know. This is why I fidget. It's really like, I want to see how much they redact, and I want to see the public's reaction. I already know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say what I've been saying, but I'm hoping more people hear it this time. And I don't know. I put out the lists. I put it on a shirt. I put it on a hoodie. I put it on a map. I just put it on like a meme and put it out for free. I don't know what to do. I've done so many hours walking. I did a 3-hour interview with Daryl Cooper. I've done 9.5 hours on Epstein with Sean Atwood. Going over it. It's just like, until there's like a Tucker or a Rogan talking to me, it's just not going to reach enough people. And I'm tired of beating my head on the wall. I'm like, okay, well, I put my time in, so I don't have the energy. But stuff like this, like when Thomas Massey comes and gets these files, is perfect. It's like, you see, I don't have to do this by myself. It's rare. We haven't had someone in Congress like that since Ron Paul. Like, someone I could support, not because they're the lesser of two evils, but they're actually good. I hope he runs for president. Massey for president. There you go. There's really no competition if you're immoral. Like, there's nobody. You have Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Is Trump going to try to weasel his way in and say, well, I can get a third term because they're not consecutive? I could see that. His age is starting to hit him.
Yeah.
He went through his first presidency, didn't do a dent to him. But with all this Epstein file stuff, he's aged quick,
absolutely.
Man. His hair turned white. It keeps him up at night. It's like, they're going to know, you little pervert. Little dapper Don. Everyone knew. I mean, he's on his third wife. He cheated on all of them. People just kind of look past it. Like, can you fix the economy? But with these stupid tariffs, and it's like he's borrowing all of Lincoln's bad ideas. It's just, it'd be hard for anybody to support him. You can hate the left more. I get that. I do. I hate them the most. But damn, we need a real candidate like Thomas Massey. And if he was a Democrat, I'd still say that. It's like, we need someone with principles that puts America first, second, and third. Quit kowtowing to Israel. And that's the main thing. If you got rid of that, we wouldn't have these wars in the Middle East and sanctions and war with Russia. Like, all that ends if you just tell Israel to fuck off. That could be the slogan. Tell Israel to fuck off.
Just fuck right off, boys.
Maybe I should run for Congress. My slogan is going to be, fuck off, Israel. We're not spending trillions of dollars fighting your wars.
Well,
they just shoot me.
Pissed off with Israel now. They're sick of sending money to Israel. They're sick of
billions.
What have
you got houses in North Carolina falling in the water because the government wouldn't fix the jetty. There are 3 jetties. 2 are already broken.
Yeah,
everyone's like, fix the fucking jetty.
They didn't post on that, Ryan. Let's talk about that.
That's where I used to live. They let it, the last one break, and everything flooded. And people are like, why did they put their house next to the water? Nobody fucking put their house next to the water. The water moved to where the houses are because the jetty broke. It's like, if you dam up a river, right, and the dam breaks, it's going to flood. It's pretty similar to that. Those houses were built 30, 40 years ago when there were 3 jetties. And North Carolina under CAMA refused to repair them. Although every other motherfucking state on the East Coast has jetties, breakwaters, whatever, to protect the beaches. They let them fall apart. I'm surprised one of them lasted 50 years. But when the final one broke from the remnants of a hurricane in August, the hurricane didn't even hit, but it was enough to break an already almost broken jetty. It put a hole in it, and it sucked all the sand out. And we just watched. Probably 100 houses are condemned, and dozens have fallen in the ocean. And it's all back to the road at this point. Overwash has gone over the highway. All those homes, businesses, some of these things that look like giant homes, they're not. Those are motels. It's just a bunch of rooms. So that was a business. Those are gone. And they have nowhere to go. People live there the whole life. They're going to have to go move to Chesapeake or something in Virginia. And the beach is gone. The historic beach. And this is the place, ironically, where the first contact between English settlers and Native Americans occurred right there where that town is, Buxton, on July 4th, coincidentally. And now the beach is gone. The water is up to like concrete where parking lots and things were. There used to be 3 sets of dunes. You had to walk. That's why you can see these like sticks and stuff poking up out of the sand. That's where the stairs went over a dune that used to be there. Then you got to the beach. Then you went across the beach. Then you got to the water. The homes were nowhere near the water. They were further away than homes are right now in Los Angeles or something, like all over the place. Yeah. Miami, the hotels are right there, and there's a little beach,
Yeah.
The water got the way it did. And no one had any say in putting the jetties there. No one had any say in the Park Service burning vegetation that held the dunes together. No one had any say in the dredging of Oregon Inlet and the dredging of the inlet between Hatteras Inlet with Ocracoke. All this, no. And then, well, since you put the jetties there, now you have to maintain them. Like, if you do it, you have to keep it. And they let it erode. And I swear it's 6 of the 7 county commissioners live north of the bridge. So they benefit when all that tourist traffic is moved to their side of the bridge because everything below it's being physically destroyed. It's Agenda 21. And I have been talking about this off and on ad nauseum. I remember bringing it up with Scott Horton like 2005 or something. I'm like, if that jetty breaks, if that last jetty ever breaks, the town's going to disappear. It broke. I mean, there's still some jetty left, but it is a big hole, and half the town is gone. They also, the naval base, this is great. This is not from global warming or anything. This is government again. The Navy took dump trucks full of sand and removed them from the beach to fill in a swamp to build a base they no longer use, a base they no longer use that is now leaking oil.
Wow.
It's leaking oil because the sand has eroded down so far that the oil is leaking all over the place. Never replaced the sand either, and that's right where the water cuts through. So it's like a compounding number of dumb government decisions and neglect that led to this situation. The dredging, the burning of the vegetation, the filling in the swamp with beach sand for a naval base, and not repairing the jetties and putting the jetties there in the first place. All those things were government at every level. In Dare County, Bobby Alton would not declare a state of emergency. He did now, but at the first meetings, he said no. So I put his email on Substack, and he got an earful from people who don't even live in North Carolina. We're emailing him, what the fuck are you doing? And what's sad is our state already had a disaster in the West from an unusual hurricane that went up the south and hit Western North Carolina, flooded everything. People lost their homes. Remember Biden giving them $750 maybe if you apply after you lost a house.
Wow.
They don't care. They don't care. They want all that real estate. They want to drive all the locals out so they can sell it to Israelis to build wings and Food Lion and whatever. They want the giant corporations down there to own all the land and make it look like Virginia Beach. But it's a real Dukes of Hazzard situation. Like, that show where they want the Duke farm and they won't sell it to them. Well, yeah, they'll just let the ocean destroy everything. And then once the people are gone and the homes are gone, the businesses are gone or bankrupt, then they'll fix the jetty. and then some Yankee will come buy all the property and put up gargantuan hotels or whatever. That's what's going to happen. They are going to fix the jetty. Like CAMA, fortunately, is de facto out. They'll vote on that in January. So that's the Coastal Mismanagement Agency. That's what I call it. They're done. They're doing some scaffolding and stuff on the first jetty, but I'm like, why don't you fix all the jetties? Well, okay, fine. Let's just aim for one. And then you're going to need beach nourishment. So why don't you take the sand that you dredge out of the inlets and put it back on the beach? Because if you're going to dredge, which they do for the ferries and stuff, okay, I understand. But if you're going to take sand away from one spot, then you have to put it back where you're depleting it from. Because come on, man, if you dig hole in sand, how does that hole fill in? From the edges, right? It fill, duh. So the island gets smaller. It's not rocket surgery. But like, so if you're going to dredge, then you're going to have to replace. And it doesn't matter what it costs. It's no different than plowing snow in the north, right? Every year, you know it's going to snow again, but you still plow the roads so that you can get commerce and traffic. And it costs money to plow the roads, but it costs more money to not plow the roads, because you don't have a road. It's you can't be like, well, Mother Nature. I'm like, well, yeah, you can do stuff about Mother Nature.
Yeah,
you can pump the sand back from where you dredged it from, and you could just like you should treat the beach the same way as a highway, a bridge, or any other part of your infrastructure. You have to maintain it. You have to protect it, and it costs way more to react than it does to prevent. But I'll tell you this too. Like, so we used to have a state senator. His name is Mark Bass Knight. I called him Ass Knight. And he had a company, Bass Knight Inc., construction company. Guess who the state would hire to repair roads and piers and stuff when Mother Nature destroyed it? Oh, himself. So he had no interest in preventing damage. He had interest in maximizing the damage because he would hire his own company to fix it. And they did that up Nag's Head too, like not even on the island. He did that everywhere. And now he has a bridge named after him. The Bonner Bridge got renamed Bass Knight Bridge. Nobody calls it that, but that's what he did.
Wow.
What a bastard.
What a boner, eh? Holy crap.
Mark Bass Knight, big friend of Hillary Clinton, by the way.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Mhm.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Two pieces of shit.
They don't care. And it was like North Carolina's a swing state. You could guarantee victory in North Carolina just by going to Darien Hyde County, where Ocracoke and Hatteras Islands are, and fixing the beach erosion issue. 100%. You would get 100% of the votes in those counties. Trump doesn't even know what's going on, I'm sure.
Right.
He's too busy, Don't take care of your own states. Just send more money to Ukraine and Israel, Make sure Zelensky can have another line of Coke.
Yeah.
You don't want to stop the town of Buxton from going underwater on your own soil with American people. And a lot of them were Trump supporters down there.
Oh, wow. Well,
just because the leftists like side with these granola psychotic environmental groups that shut down the beach and stuff. Like all our problems are from the government, not a foreign government, our own government. Everything wrong on that island, from the beach closures to the beach erosion to the oil spills to now defunct naval bases not being used and moving the lighthouse and breaking the stairs when they did it. Like, it's all government. It's the Park Service, which is a disservice. It's CAMA. Like, everything wrong is because the government's in the way. Like, if you want a case for libertarians, I actually wrote a book. It's on the shelf. It's called The Separation of Business and State. But I used our island as an example of just dumb crap from local, state, and federal government that was done that would never have happened without statism. And I'm not an anarchist, but I'm just saying there's good arguments the libertarians make for market solutions and, heavy case for deregulation. And that's not like always, but most of the time, regulations are not there to help you. They're tailored for corporate interest. So I'm not against regulations like in automatically. I think Bretton Woods was a good idea. Like You need some, but you can't point to the few good ones and then justify all the horrible things. Most regulations are designed to keep the top where it is and prevent market competition. Like not allowing competition for insurance between different states for healthcare. Why not? Anyway, but like the separation of business and state, it's on Amazon, and it just goes over how bad our own government, like a lot of our problems, it's not from the Russians. It's definitely not from Iran. It's from us. Josh Stein, governor of North Carolina, he hadn't done shit. Cooper didn't do shit. They happen to be Democrats. It wouldn't have mattered if they were Republicans. We always get ignored. And we have a surplus of tax revenue. The Outer Banks pulls in millions and millions of dollars, but it all goes to Raleigh and Charlotte, both of which are in debt. Oh, there's the book. Yeah. Yeah. That 2018. Yeah. Yeah. It goes over the housing bubble and that. Yeah. That still pisses me off. That was $22 trillion fiasco on the mortgage-backed security fraud. Oh, you get it for Christmas. Do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Throwing that in my cart.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You might want to not put your details on the screen though, in case your card shows up or something. But
no, I don't think my details are on the screen, were they? No,
they weren't. I'm just saying, make sure you don't. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah, I got so mad I wrote a book on it. If you go into the environment section there, like they always use these do-gooder facades, like for the children, for the trees, for the whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good, but that's not what you're doing. Like green energy, it's because, you know, we don't want to club baby seals and coal is dirty and da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, that's not why. That's not what you're doing. You always have it sounds good on paper. Like who's anti-environment? Nobody. But that's not what you're doing. If you're trying to push for carbon credits and stuff, you're not even lowering net emissions. You're just fooling around with which area gets to do what so that you can have monopolies. Like they allowed smaller farms and ranches to sell their allotments to bigger ones, which just then gives the bigger ones a monopoly on distribution. It has nothing to do with helping the environment. But like digging in and explaining this, like this is what TV ought to do, what journalists ought to do, but don't. And not everyone's going to read a book. Like that's the lowest number of people, right? But you got to do it. You got to spite. Like it slows it down some. But we're not going to win ever until we can break this monopoly on mass media. Like so many issues could be resolved like that if someone smart was allowed to talk. But that doesn't happen. Like a quick example, why are prescription drugs in commercials? Like, if it's prescribed, then the doctor decides that you need a prescription based on your symptoms. But we market them, oh, do you need Zoloft? You need the, especially with mental health, because there's no like concrete physical tests for a lot of this stuff. And they're pushing it. Do you remember when commercials in the US would be so damn loud that as you're watching a show, you'd have to hit mute or volume down? They finally passed a rule against that. Yeah. I was like, oh, here comes the commercial. Brace yourself. It's really the scale is tilted so much for profit. And like, I understand profits are good, but you cannot just sacrifice all morality and principles for coins, man. If you're going to lean into the garbage and then don't complain about living in a circus.
That's true.
And we live in a circus. And the few voices that try and speak out against the system or the man, or the new kids call it the Matrix, they get squashed. They get Julian Assanged. They get Ed Snowden. Real whistleblowers end up in prison or exiled, you know, and charlatans get amplified and become millionaires. That's the system we live in. I broke this story on Epstein a long time ago. I've been following it since 2007. Look, I've been banned on everything, including X. I just got it back in 2023 and I'm nerfed again. But at least I'm not outright total banned like I used to be. So that was my reward for doing that. Can't use PayPal or anything. That still can't. Never will. And there's a lot of people in the same boat. They're like, what'd you do? I told the truth about Israel, or I said the truth about COVID or something, and then canceled. That's where we're at. You can't. There's no reward in being accurate and telling the truth. So I would implore people, like whoever you follow, if you see someone, whether you like me or not or whatever, but like you can, of course I want support, but whoever it is that you like get a lot of news from, whatever, consider supporting that person, especially if they're canceled on a lot of things, because there aren't a lot of us doing it. And it's going to shift the way of Candace and Alex Jones. They're going to take over everything. And you're going to be left with clowns on their left and clowns on the right, as the song says.
So that's what I wanted to
Jokers on the right or whatever, like right, clowns on the left to me, jokers on the right. That's what we got.
Before we start wrapping up, that's something I wanted to ask you about. Your thoughts on because you've been doing this for so long, and you've done a lot of awesome work. You recently re-released the Empire
Unmasked, yeah, that's
Redux, which
dude,
I also asked you
that
about.
Film. I know it's 4 hours long, but
tell us about that first, and then I'll ask.
That is everything that happened on 9/11 and afterward. Cover up all of it, how they attached it to Iraq, the players specifically with names, not like NWO, Globalist, Bavarian. I said names. If you want to skip to 109 minutes, an hour and 9 minutes, it gets into Israel for 3 hours. But the first hour is mostly on Saudi Arabia because they had a huge role in it too. And it's what happened on 9/11, the biggest terrorist attack on American soil in our lifetime. Probably the biggest terrorist attack on American soil since Lincoln. And it's like the new generation didn't care. They weren't alive when it happened. It doesn't matter. Commercial airliners are used, as battering rams into buildings full of people. It was like we were Gaza for a day. 3,000 people, approximately, 2,990 dead. And it led to wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, who had nothing to do with 9/11. And I want people to be held responsible. Some of them are dying off, like Cheney. A lot of them are still around and still making money. And if you knew the modus operandi of how intelligence agencies farm out terrorists and foster these madrasas and stuff to radicalize cannon fodder to be used in their next misadventure, then there wouldn't have been a Bondi Beach in Australia recently. And there wouldn't have been anything between that and 9/11. There wouldn't have been an ISIS. Syria would still be Syria. Libya would still be Libya. None of this would have happened if 9/11 had broken on 9/12. But instead, you got people chasing around nanothermite and holograms, whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is why we lose, because you listen to clowns. So this is like 9/11 truth for grown-ups. It's a good way to put it. 9/11 truth for grown-ups.
Well, congrats on your work with that.
And I had some grown-ups look at it who totally doubted the 9/11 conspiracy stuff until they saw my movie. And they're like, wow, that, I didn't know any of that. I go, yeah, I know. Because the clowns suck all the air out of the room. And they turn conspiracies about Israel into like retarded. It becomes a tar baby. And then when people hear it, they just roll their eyes. First time I met Scott Ritter, we were talking about anthrax, the anthrax attack after 9/11. And it's like, I got to spend like a huge chunk of time proving, no, I'm not one of those people before I can be listened to. Because that's how much damage that AE 9/11 and Alex Jones and Judy Wood and all these loose change and these fucking morons made 9/11 into a circus. And this film is fighting back. Like, this is documented. It gets all into it, gets into the DEA groups, dancing Israelis, all of it. Bandar Bush and the rest of it, the whole thing spelled out. I implore everybody to see it. And especially over the holidays, if you want a nice Christmas movie,
Right on, man.
to sit down with your family and shock the shit out of them. Like, you can fast forward to it. Like, look, let's just go to this part, and, you know, and watch the middle of it and then go, you want to see the rest of it? Because I don't know, like 109 is where it starts in on the Israelis, and it starts in on the truck bombs in the World Trade Center. It was reported on September 11th, by the way, that there were vans inside the parking garage, just like the 1993 World Trade Center attack. That, in addition to airplanes, those van bombs were used to help bring the towers down. And people are like, what? Oh, I didn't see that. I'm like, it was reported. They need to see that. And they need to see everything afterward. Because all they've seen is just building 7. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't even. They need to see it. And then you can be like, let's watch this whole thing. But that's where I was like, go to the movie, jump to 109, start watching there with your family. And they're like, what is this? Who is this? What is it? Like, look, this is on RyanDawson.org. It's free. Let's watch the whole thing. Like, yeah, do it. This is something you can share with boomers, with whoever, and not be embarrassed. Like, there's no kook stuff. I'm not selling water filters or blaming the Bavarian, Luciferian, NWO, globalist, whatever. You know, Alex has all these generic labels.
Yeah.
No, it's the Israeli, U.S., and Saudi intelligence agencies. The same people that made ISIS. And with U.S. and Israel, the same people that made Iran-Contra. Like, this is what they do.
That's awesome, man.
A conspiracy, like every covert operation is a conspiracy. That's what a conspiracy is. Yeah. A bunch of people secretly doing shit that should be illegal. There's nothing to be like, oh, Candace is making conspiracy retarded again, you know, with her Egyptian planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be like, well, conspiracies, they happened. We Iran-Contra was a conspiracy. People got convicted for conspiracy. But the stigma came because of all the kook JFK stuff, kook 9/11 stuff, kook like moon landing denial, which Candace also does. It made conspiracy itself seem like something crazy people devil into, but it isn't. There are dumb conspiracies, but there are legitimate ones. You should not categorically reject or categorically accept all conspiracies. But what Candace is doing right now, or they're using her to do this, who knows, is she is making conspiracy itself retarded again. Like, we had just gotten over that, where people are willing to accept conspiracy theories, and she's stupefying the whole thing. That's the worst thing about Brown Pig, is not just specifically with Israel, like all conspiracy, she's making them stupid again. We had a little bit of that with Pizzagate. Like guys, please stop. Like, stop it. QAnon was bad, but they were kind of basement dwelling. No one listened to them. But now they have like the #1 podcast as their avatar, and it's doing so much damage. I don't think she cares because she's making coin, but it has to stop. Now I'll end it with that. I can see you're ready, but
that just goes into my last question. Like, what are your thoughts on all these alt media people, or people that have been like, that have left media and are starting their own big podcast? You know, Tucker,
like Megan and Tucker, yeah.
Piers Morgan, Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, yeah. Tim Pool, Milo.
I don't think Tate or Milo or Fuentes or wherever media that left. They're just
no. I mean people like
Candace
and
Megan and Tucker had shows, and Morgan,
yeah, not just.
Yeah, I mean, Piers Morgan is. I kind of feel like he loses arguments on purpose. Like, he doesn't want to say it, so he'll have a guest on, and he'll just argue half-assedly with him and let the other person.
Oh, really?
Say
Is that what you think? Okay.
Because why have him on at all? You know what I mean? I really used to hate the guy, but then I think he evolved a little bit.
I enjoy him.
Like, he had Tate on, he had Dan Bongino on, he had on a bunch of. He has Scott Horton on. Like, whoa, you're risking it there.
He has him on. He has him on all the time now.
Yeah, like, so I think he had Finkelstein on, and and he should. Bassem Youssef did great damage to Israeli propaganda by being on Piers Morgan's show. That's where most people first heard of him, was that show. So, but Pierce like trying to argue against him, but he can't because it's wrong. Bassem's correct in what he's saying. But so he's been a net positive, regardless of what you think of him personally, what his personal opinions are. He does let the other side have a say, which is what a journalist ought to do. So props to him for that. Tucker, as another guy that seems to have grown up, he was a diehard Israel supporter, bomb Iran, all that shit for most of his life. And then after losing his gig at Fox, somehow in his 50s, he realizes shooting babies is wrong. He got the courage to talk bad about Israel because they can't fire him again. But he wasn't removed from Fox for the Israel issue. He was removed for J6 and questioning COVID and other taboo things. So I think he was sick of it. And now that he doesn't have, $100 million job to lose, he's free to say what he wants. And what he wants to say is fuck Israel, essentially. Candace Owens is nuts. I don't really listen to Fuentes, but he's been doing the rounds. He's been getting a lot of attention. I ain't into that race realism in a Catholic monarchy. I think it's stupid. The Tates were pretty much silenced. I mean, they got blanket banned. They went from most Googled, or Andrew was the most Googled, but both of them very popular. And they had their Instagram taken away, YouTube taken away, TikTok taken away, everything but Twitter, basically. They got Ryan Dawson. Like, they got blanket banned. So I don't know how much they reach anymore. I know they're in school and they've got this hardcore fan base. But maybe they're reaching in the tens of millions, but it used to be hundreds of millions. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's still hundreds of millions, but it seems like their voice from getting blanket banned severely got reduced, and then they got accused of all this crap. You're a human trafficker. And I've looked into those. It's such crap. Like, the girl that initiated that is being sued by 4 different parties for defamation and da 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 da. But again, where did Andrew make the case? On Piers Morgan? Like, of all the shows where he argued, like for Palestine, for example, was on Morgan's show.
Right.
And then later he got interviewed by Tucker too. But I think Morgan reached, like, I like that Piers Morgan's doing what he's doing, even though I don't like him. I think he's more fair than some of these others because he challenges, or he'll have other guests on and challenge, and people need that dialogue. I think he's good on that. He blocked me, whatever. I'll never be on his show, but I'm glad that he's having people like Scott Horton on and stuff. I'd like the opportunity, but that's not going to happen. Who else did you say? Well, I'll tell you another one, like Sean Atwood's another one. And they threatened his YouTube and then brought him back again. And he went from like 600,000 to 1 million in like a day. They were suppressing his views and then stopped, and boom, he shot up. Right. They control who's popular, who isn't.
Yeah.
Tristan Tate, similar to Andrew, he doesn't like the limelight as much. They're very different guys, but
for sure.
They're very alike and very not alike.
They look like the same, but just 2 different guys. It's hilarious.
Well, yeah, it's just he's also same thing, blanket banned. They'll do their shows. They got a great university going on, teaching like practical skills, like how you can make money right now. I wouldn't say you can replace education with that, but you can supplement whatever you're doing by learning real skills right now. Just learning how to do crypto, learning how to do drop shipping, learning like little things that you ought to learn that you could be like a teenager could start getting revenue from. You could learn in their school and still go to your other school, whatever. I think it'd be worth it. I like stuff like that. The more market competition, especially with education, the better. And I say the same thing with like curiosity.com and all these, like, especially in science, there's a lot of them where you almost have to go there to learn it because it's not being taught. You're going to have to go to like online something. especially in the real world, like their courses on AI. Man, if you're not taking it there, take it somewhere. If you're young, you need to learn AI, at least for defense. It's happening whether we like it or not. Who else did you say?
Tim Pool.
Tim Pool can suck a dick. He is just, I mean, he met with Netanyahu. He took money from the Russians. He denies it. He's full of shit, dude. He's just, that guy would do anything for money. He has no principles. I know he attacked Candace. They're like, okay, fine. Everyone can flog the retard. You still suck. His beanie is like a oversized yarmulke.
Oh, I know, man. It's hilarious.
His kippa, whatever. I don't like him. He's so disingenuous because he knows better. He just said he knows. He fucking knows what Israel's doing is disgusting. He didn't have the balls to say it because he'll lose money. That makes me mad, man. Like, when you're a moron, and I'm not calling him a smart either. I mean, he's a midwit, but you don't have to be that bright to know. Stop bombing hospitals, you know. He'll sit there and do mental gymnastics anyway, and he's like, "Oh man, the Trump administration is doing such a great job." I'm like, dude, I hope that $7,000 is worth it. At a certain point, when you're making millions of dollars, like, when's enough? Do you not care about your society at all? I guess not.
No. Don't give a fuck, man. Right?
They don't care.
No. They don't give a shit.
Tucker, he has a huge audience. Like, if he would pick the right people to platform, he could do great damage to the system. But when he's pushing out like Richard Gage level 9/11 nonsense, or saying a demon attacked him when he was asleep, and look, he has a scratch, probably from his dog, or aliens are real, or whatever. Like, man, what the fuck? Why? You're not that dumb. What are you doing? I don't know. People call him a spook. I'm like, I don't know. I think he's really struggling with it because some days he'll do really base things, and some days he's right back to saying guardian angels and stuff. So I don't know. It's like, did you really not know this until you're 50, whatever, how old he is? You knew that. You've known that for decades. You were part of the system. I hope you regret it. Because he was on CNN and Fox saying bomb Iran, all that. He used to be, and he admits it. I mean, he'll say, yeah, I used to hold it. Like, but did you? Or you knew what you had to say for the network for the paycheck?
Mm-hmm.
Did you really agree with it? Because if you did, okay, you're just dumb. But I don't think he's dumb. I think these people are unethical. I think they just don't. They're like, well, me and my family benefited. So yeah, I guess. You really don't have a place to tell the truth. There wasn't a Substack or Rumble or any of that. Like, what were you supposed to do in, say, 2003 if you wanted to tell the truth? Where would you go? You couldn't. Make a web page, stick it on AOL,
Right, yeah.
There was nothing. I wanted screaming until I was blue in the face. There's no WMDs, the OSPs lying about Iraq. But I remember I even went to like a protest in New York of the RNC.
Okay.
Because there was nowhere else to say it. MySpace, I got banned on that anyway.
Right. Yeah. Tom didn't like you. That's funny.
I got banned on that in 2005. They banned my AOL too.
Holy shit, man.
That doesn't seem like a big deal, but back then that was basically the internet. Everybody was on America Online.
Yeah,
they didn't even know there was an internet. They're like, AOL is the internet, isn't it? Like, no, but that's what everyone uses. That's how they signed in. That's where they got their email and stuff. You got mail. It was all AOL. But there's promise there. You look at how bad AOL fell and how badly MySpace fell. They seem like these juggernauts that would never go away. So when you look at things like today, like Google or YouTube, Facebook, whatever, because Google is YouTube, you never know when they could have a MySpace or AOL moment where it doesn't last forever. Something new comes and they can get bent. Even the biggest websites in the world. AOL was a fucking monopoly. And MySpace was so big, it was like the third biggest site on the internet. Outside of porn. It was it was like Google and Yahoo and MySpace. Yahoo used to be big too, and they've died. Yeah, they're dead. The only thing holding Yahoo up is Japan. They still use it.
Oh, really? Okay.
They still use it for a search engine, but that's it. I mean, Yahoo's out. So you never know what could come creeping along. And that gives me a little bit of hope. But the way they're all merging together and AIs, I fear we're headed toward a technocratic dystopian nightmare, like Ted Kaczynski said. Yeah. I want the Unabomber to be wrong, but he's been right so far the whole time.
Pretty right. He seems pretty right.
I mean, he wasn't right to blow people up, but his manifesto is going on. Yeah.
We're talking the manifesto. Yeah. Right on, Ryan.
Look, you can do something stupid and still,
still no shit.
Socrates was right on a lot of things, but he's still a pederast, Einstein got a lot of stuff right. Still fell in love with his cousin. Thomas Jefferson got a lot of things right. He still owned people. It doesn't negate your truth to have a dark spot.
Yeah.
And really, for the time period, those weren't even dark spots. There was just accepted things. So, yeah.
Well, that's a good ending spot, my friend. The dark spot doesn't negate your truth. Ryan Dawson, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for your time, man. Can you just let everyone know where they can find you for those who don't know?
Right there, antineocon.com is a store, but my site and my new film, which is the pinned post, it's got a picture of the burning buildings, is my name, ryandawson.org. That's where you can get everything.
Beautiful. Right on.
That's
man.
your Christmas shopping right there. Get an Epstein map. Now's the time, right?
Get some panties. Get some anti-neocon panties as well.
We got a bikini. Yep.
Oh, okay. Bikini. Right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I think we had underwear one year. I don't know if we still have, but we have that. We've got this Confederate battle flag bikini too. It's pretty cool.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Does it come with the base?
That no one would print that for a few years after that idiot shot people in South Carolina, and Dylan Roof. They blamed it on him because he had a Confederate flag somewhere in a Facebook post, and it turned out that wasn't even true. Somebody photoshopped that. He never even had a Confederate flag. But even if he did, that's not why he shot people. Like I have a Confederate flag. I'm not shooting people. It's so dumb. But we did have drawers. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
Yeah.
That's beauty.
You barely read him on that. She wedged him up, but whatever.
The
cutoff we got too. This one. That's good.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah. She's wearing the panties too. Yeah. This year I went with the bikini. I felt like the calendar is whatever because it's supposed to be sexy, but our best sellers are that Epstein map and probably the Fuck Israel shirt or the ANC logo. We have a towel. See right there.
Is it like a face towel?
It's like do I have one right here? It's about like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like a gym towel type thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Not like a beach towel. I'm trying to leave for the hell of it. I'm trying to see what gear we have. Got our coffee too. You get that End All Aid to Israel coffee. It's got Boycott Israel on the back just to keep the packaging. you know, put whatever in it. After you're done with the coffee, just keep that packaging for just no reason. No needed.
Pin it up. Pin it on your wall.
Oh, I have it behind my 9/11 map, but I have
okay.
a box of it up there too. Yeah.
Right on. Well, this was fun, Ryan. I hope we can stay in touch and we can do something again. Thanks.
I hope everyone listening, listen, retweet and continue to rage about Epstein. Just go to my Rye Liberty. That's my Twitter. I've got a bunch of Epstein stuff there. Quote, tweet, retweet. Like the more energy we have on that, you know, like rattling the cage does make some difference, and it takes like no effort. You just button done, right?
Yeah, you just fire
go do
it off.
that. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, appreciate you. Let's stay in touch. Thanks to all the listeners, watchers. Please subscribe to the Divulgence podcast on. You can get us on Rumble now, but you can subscribe to us on YouTube as of right now. You can get us on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts. And happy holidays, everyone. Enjoy.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Have fun.